All right. Good morning, Stanley Knowles math students. Welcome back. Today is April 29th, 2020. So this is the lesson from April 29th, 2020. And we're going to continue today looking at integer division. So the second division with integers assignment is due tomorrow. The first one is due today. And this video is kind of a standalone video to help you think through division in general and also how you can apply that to integer division. So let's get started. We're going to keep this one short and sweet. I've got two situations mapped out for you already. And remember, one of the things that you should be doing is applying the three most important words in the English language. You remember what that is, don't you? The three most important words in the English language are write it down. Write it down. So I've got two situations lined up for you. I want you to think for a second that you're walking in for phys ed class. Remember the Sonic Dome? Don't worry, kids. You'll be back and you'll have a chance to visit it again sometime soon. The Sonic Dome, you go in for your gym class, and let's say that there's 15 of you preparing to go in for phys ed, and you walk in today, and Mr. Bard, your phys ed teacher, says to you, all right, students, I would like you to split into groups of 3. So you 15, I want you to split into groups of 3. And then the next day, let's say you walk in again, you sit down in your squads, you sit down, get ready for attendance, and Mr. Bard says to you, all right, you 15 students, I want you to divide into 3 equal groups. I want you to split into 3 equal groups. Now, both of those situations involve division. Both of those division situations involve the same group of students that start with. Okay, there's 15 both times. But the situation is slightly different. Now, I'm going to use positive integers for this because it will make a little bit more sense. But remember, my learning goal for you today is to kind of understand how pictures of division could look different even though the division statement is the same. We're going to apply it to positive integers so that we can learn that. And remember, division is equal sharing or splitting or grouping into equal numbers, things like that. So if we had 15 students divided into groups of 3, I think you know what the answer would be to that. I think you know the answer would be 5. And the picture for that would be to start off with 15 students. Don't want to draw too many. I'm not going to draw the bodies on the students. We'll just pretend that these are all, happy students. This one's not too happy. This one's not happy. Most of the students that go to phys ed are happy students. So those are their faces. Happy students, 15 of them. And if we're going to draw what it looks like to divide into groups of 3, I want you to think for a minute, how would we show that picture? Well, if we wanted to show that picture, we would have to show the division so that we would actually have 3 in each group. And we would show the grouping or the sharing like this. Because this clearly shows that there's 3 in each group. And the answer is actually in the number of groups. There's 5 groups. That's our answer for this one. Now, on the second day, the case number 2, we still have the 15 students, but they're going to be divided into 3 equal groups. Divide into 3 equal groups. The answer to that, you probably guessed, is still going to be 5. But the greater question is, what would that actually look like? I want you to stop for a second and think about if you were split, the 15 of you were split into 3 equal groups, where would we see the 5? Let's try again. 2, 3. Notice how I'm writing these out. It's a very subtle difference, but it's still a difference. Here we have 3 groups, and to show that division statement correctly, I have to squish it together a little bit more than I want. Running out of paper. Ah. To show that division statement, we would have to show 1, 2, 3 equal groups. And where's the 5? What does the 5 actually represent? Well, for this one, the answer is 5 in each group. So the answer isn't the number of groups for this one. In this situation, or this picture, the answer is actually how many are in each group. How many are in each group? And that's the 2 flavors of division. Even though you start off with the same division statement. If there's a real world situation that it stands for, you have to be careful. You have to be careful how you model it and how you draw it. This example was using positive integers because my goal was more for helping you to get started reviewing the nature of division in equal sharing or splitting into equal groups. And I wanted you to be clear on how dividing by the same number can look differently depending on the situation. All right, you've got another lesson to tackle today. So the lesson is assignment 2.6. So it's a 1-pager. It's attached to your Google Classroom. If this lesson looks familiar to you a little bit down the road, it's because I'll be using it when we revisit the idea of modeling integers that are positive and negative. So I will repost this, and then when we look at models for division, I'll use this video for 2 days, okay? So good job, keep it up. You're doing excellent work, Stanley Knowles students. Keep on giving it your best shot. You're doing fantastic.